Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. First of all, I want to apologize for taking a little longer to release this review. Normally, I like to give my first impressions fairly quickly whenever a new hero job comes out, but Himmelnez turned out to be a lot more complicated than I expected. This isn't one of those jobs where you unlock it, play for an hour, and immediately understand everything. There has been a lot of trial and error, and honestly, mostly error. I've spent the last few days changing relics, adjusting equipment, testing different skill rotations, experimenting with PvP, magic prison, and even casual yo-yo arena matches just to understand how this job is supposed to be played. Even now, I don't consider myself an expert. I'm sure there are players who already understand Himmelnez much better than I do, so don't think of today's video as the ultimate guide. Think of it as my first serious review after spending enough time with the job to understand both its strengths and its problems. Hopefully, it gives you a better idea of whether this job fits your playstyle. If I had to describe Himmelnez in one sentence, I'd say she's basically Khafra for physical players. The overall concept feels very similar. She's a long-range artillery style DPS that wants to stay behind the front line while constantly putting pressure on the enemy. The difference is that everything she does follows physical damage mechanics. That means you still need all the traditional physical stats. Physical damage bonus, ignore defense, physical penetration, skill damage, and something that many players might overlook, size correction. Since Himmelnez uses a dagger, she suffers the normal dagger penalty against medium-sized targets. And in PvP, every player is medium-sized. That's why I highly recommend using precision stones for size correction. Otherwise, you're simply giving away free damage before the fight even begins. Another major difference compared to Khafra is her elemental system. Khafra can adapt to almost any element depending on the situation. Himmelnez can't. She's locked into undead element attacks. Fortunately, this isn't normal undead damage. She uses a special elemental interaction table, which I explained in my previous video. That unique mechanic is one of the reasons why so many people became excited about this job before release. The attack range is probably the first thing you'll notice. It's enormous. Fully expanded, Himmelnez can attack from 12 meters away, making her one of the longest-ranged physical DPS jobs in Ragnarok Mobile. Her main attack pattern also works differently from most jobs. Instead of firing directly in front of her, she attacks in a donut-shaped area. And you can switch between 3 different ranges, 4 meters, 8 meters, and 12 meters. At first, I thought this would simply give players flexibility. After spending more time with it, I realized it's actually one of the hardest mechanics to master, because choosing the wrong range at the wrong moment often means missing your entire burst window. Then there's the monster mechanic. Personally, I think this is one of the coolest parts of the entire job. Himmelnez's skills summon creatures onto the her donut AoE. If you manage to push that monster into your opponents, they explode for enormous damage. When everything lines up properly, the damage is GG. On top of that, she also has an execution skill that instantly finishes enemies once their HP falls below 25%. So on paper, this job sounds incredible. Huge range AoE, strong execution, excellent zoning, good utility, anti-revenant dead soul card mechanics, the ability to transform into angel rays, extra survivability when her HP gets low. But after several days of testing, my feelings about Himmelnez are honestly mixed. Let's start with the positives. The damage is absolutely there. I don't think anyone can seriously argue against that. There were plenty of moments during my testing where enemies simply disappeared before I even realized they had entered my attack range. The 12-meter donut attack is incredibly threatening. Sometimes players walk into it without realizing they're already inside the danger zone. When that happens, we deleted them. Even in close-range situations, switching to the smaller donut and combining it with the execution skill gives Himmelnez surprisingly strong finishing power. So yes, the damage definitely exists and not a problem. The real issue is keeping that damage channeled during an actual fight. And this is where I think Himmelnez has one major weakness. The same mechanic that makes her powerful is also what makes her vulnerable. That 12-meter attack radius is amazing as long as enemies stay exactly where you want them. But the moment somebody closes the distance, everything changes. Once an opponent gets past your donut, Himmelnez suddenly has very little room to react. You want to cast your anti-death field, place your prison wall, knock enemies back with the spike field. But almost all of those defensive skills have noticeable cast times. For a physical hero job, having so many important abilities tied to casting feels awkward. Sometimes it feels like your character is one step behind the fight. The donut mechanic itself also creates a challenge. Your attack cycles between 8 meters, then 12 meters, then 4 meters before repeating. It sounds manageable on paper. During real combat, it's harder. Against slower targets, it's fine. Against experienced players using highly mobile jobs like Nameless, Fenrir, or even Jormund, they constantly move in and out of those ranges. By the time you switch to the correct donut size, they've already repositioned. That makes maintaining consistent pressure much more difficult than I originally expected. Crowd control is another major problem. Even if you're using premium defensive cards like Alien Archangeling, you're still one of the biggest targets on the battlefield. Freeze, Stone Curse, Silence, Stun, Dull and Trick, even repeated critical auto attacks can interrupt your positioning and prevent you from properly controlling your attack zones. Even if you already use an Edgashoes, since Himmelnez spends so much time standing inside her own attack ring, experienced players naturally focus all of their crowd control on her, and once you're locked down, there isn't much you can do. It's like being tied in hands when pants fall down. There's also another matchup that gave me trouble, Light Shield. Right now, Light Shield feels incredibly effective against Himmelnez's damage. Whenever I ran into players using it properly, my kill speed dropped significantly. It's definitely something Himmelnez players need to keep in mind moving forward. After all my testing, I think I finally understand what this job is supposed to be. Himmelnez is not a frontline carry. She's not designed to dive into the enemy formation. She's not built to brawl in the middle of the fight. Instead, she feels like a long-range artillery unit. She wants teammates creating space. She wants Saints keeping her alive. She wants bodyguards protecting her positioning. As long as those conditions exist, she becomes terrifying. Without them, she struggles much more than people probably expected. Does that mean the job is weak? Not at all. I actually think Himmelnez has enormous potential. I simply don't think we've seen her final form yet. We're still missing optimized frost cores. Players are still experimenting with builds. The community is still figuring out the best team compositions. I wouldn't be surprised if a few months from now, our opinion changes completely. Maybe future frost cores solve some of these weaknesses. Maybe future balance patches improve her defensive options. We'll have to wait and see. For now though, this is my honest impression after several days of testing. A very powerful damage dealer, one of the strongest long-range physical DPS jobs in the game, but also one that demands excellent positioning, good teammates, and a lot more practice than people initially expected. I'll continue testing different builds and relic combinations over the coming weeks. Once I understand the job even better, I'll make another follow-up review with more advanced tips and optimized builds. Until then, thank you guys for always supporting the channel. I really appreciate everyone who's been watching these testing videos alongside me. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.